When a woman goes on a date with a guy, she usually has a medium to high level of interest in him, and that can drop down to a low level of interest or no interest at all, depending on how the guy is coming across. The thing is, most women approach dates differently than men do. For example, most men go to a first date, and if they see that the woman is pretty and she's friendly, the guy's thinking, yeah, I'd have sex with her, or I'd be with her for a couple of months, or maybe we could become boyfriend and girlfriend for a year or so. Yeah, sure. She looks pretty. She seems friendly. Let's do it. Yet women don't approach dates in the same sort of way. They don't arrive and think, okay, the guy is presenting himself well here. He looks good and he's being friendly. Okay, I at least want to have sex with him once or twice, or let's just hook up for a couple of months because he looks good and he's being friendly. It works differently for women because women are looking for traits and behaviors that a guy has and how that then makes her feel, right? So if the guy is confident, for example, she's going to feel attracted, versus if he's insecure, she's going to feel turned off. Now that's a simple example of confident versus insecure, but let's get into some more subtle stuff now where guys go to a first date and they're being confident, but then the woman doesn't want to be with him because he's making this first mistake. Number one, seeing her as the selector. So essentially, the guy is trying to be chosen by the woman, right? He's trying to give her a good impression of himself, and then she gives him a chance to be with her, right? So there are all these other guys that want to be with her, and he's sitting there at the date and he's showing her how good of a guy he is, and he's trying to sell himself to her and say, you know, what he's achieved or what he hopes to achieve. And he hopes that he's going to tick some boxes there and he's going to get a chance to be with her. Yet that's not the way that a woman wants to feel. A woman doesn't want to reluctantly give a guy a chance of, okay, yeah, you seem like you're ticking some boxes there. Okay, all the other guys in line to be with me. No, you've been really good. You presented yourself well. Good boy, you get a chance, right? She doesn't want to be in that position. Instead, the woman wants to feel like she is lucky to be getting a chance with you, right? She has come across a guy who has standards, who isn't just going to accept any pretty woman or half-decent woman who goes on a date with him, because he has standards and she's going to have to impress him. She's going to have to make a good first impression or second impression depending on the date. She's the one who is under the spotlight here. And how do you achieve that? Well, one way to do it is to imagine that you are an international celebrity. Just think about how a man like that would behave on a date with a woman. Say he's a big movie star, or he's a sports star, or whatever sort of star. He knows that he's a valuable guy, right? So if he's sitting at a table, or he's sitting somewhere or standing somewhere and having a date with a woman, whether it's a first or second date, do you think that he's going to be hoping to give a good first impression to hopefully get selected by the woman? Is he going to be in the position where he's hoping that she's going to select him and give him a chance? Or is he instead going to be looking at her and thinking, should I give this girl a chance with me? And the thing is, you don't have to be an international celebrity, big movie star, big sports star to be able to have that mindset. Instead, you just have to have that mindset where you are wondering whether or not you should allow this woman to have a chance with you. Because think about it, when women go on dates, what are they doing? Right? They're thinking whether they should give the guy a chance, because guys are coming across as though they're trying to get a chance. Yet you can actually flip the script, and you don't have to be an international celebrity. As I said, it's just a mindset, and you're allowed to have that mindset. What happens then is that your body language, your behavior, and your conversation automatically begin to change and become attractive to her. Versus if you were sitting there hoping to get a chance by being on your best behavior, that is going to affect your body language, behavior, and your conversation in a way that's going to be unattractive to her, because she's going to sense that you're not confident. You don't believe that you're good enough for her. You're hoping to get a chance with her. You're hoping that she selects you, right? You're the one hoping to be selected. You're not a man who is so confident in himself that he gets to select the women who have a chance with him. Now, the thing is, this is not meant to be done in an arrogant way or in a way that is hurtful towards women. Instead, just think about the fact that women do it to men, right? That they are sitting there and feeling like the one who gets to select. And once you have this mindset where you're actually deciding whether or not this woman will get a chance with you based on how she's coming across, then it positively affects your body language to the point where rather than talking to her and just trying to get along with her the whole time and, oh yeah, that's really interesting, and oh really, tell me more about that, and so forth, where you're on your best behavior trying to get a chance and try to hopefully be selected, then naturally, by having the mindset of, is this woman going to get a chance with me? Should I give her a chance with me? Do I want to be hanging out with this woman? What would it be like to have her at my place? Do I really want to be spending time with her? Then your body language will change to the point where you sometimes look at her and you're giving her a little bit of a squint at times, a little bit of a look up and down when she's saying something. You're judging her, and it just naturally happens. You don't actually have to force yourself to do it. Instead, when you actually have the mindset that most women end up having in the dating process because they are seen as the selectors by so many men, you just naturally start to judge, right? And not in a harsh way, not in an overly arrogant way, but you're sitting there thinking, is this woman good enough? Should I give her a chance? Do I want to be spending time with this woman? Do I like the way that she's behaving at the moment? Then when you do that, the woman is looking at you and she can see the subtleties of your body language. She can sense the shift in the vibe and so forth. She can sense it, just like when you're interacting with a woman on a date. You can sense if she starts judging you, or if she doesn't like something that you just said, or a way that you behaved, or something that happened. You can see a shift. You can see changes in her body language. And most guys in that situation are going to start to panic. They're going to think, okay, I might have lost her interest there. I said something wrong. And the guy might then apologize and try to suck up to her, or try to be extra nice now to hopefully get a chance. But a guy who has this mindset of selecting the woman is not going to freak out and worry if he says something that causes a shift at any point, because at the end of the day, he's still the selector. Once again, it's not done in an arrogant way though, where the guy's just being a prick to the woman, he's putting her down, he's talking badly about women, and hey, I'm the selector, so you're going to like me automatically because I'm the selector, right? It's not that. Instead, you still need to be confident when you're talking to the woman, be charming, and be the good guy that women are looking for, but at the end of the day, you're the selector, you're in the power position, and women actually prefer it that way. They want it to be that way, because when you create that type of dynamic on a date and throughout the dating process, the woman feels special. She feels lucky to be with you, versus what most guys make women feel is reluctant, right? They sort of reluctantly give the guy a chance. Another way that men turn women off on dates is acting like just a friend. So some guys go to dates with women and they get along with the woman. They're talking to her for an hour or two and they're having a great chat. They're talking about everything and they seem to have a great connection. But then the woman sends a text that she's not interested, or she ghosts him from then on. And he's thinking, what's going on there? We're having a great chat. In some cases, it's because the guy was coming across as a friend and he wasn't creating any sort of sexual vibe with her. Instead, he's really good at getting along with people, right? He's a good conversationalist. He can have a good chat. He has great manners. He asks questions during conversation and expands on it. He knows how to keep a conversation going and so forth. And he has that social intelligence in that regard. Yet he didn't create a sexual vibe, a sexual dynamic between him and the woman. Instead, he was hoping that the woman would like him because they got along so well, right? So it's like, we're getting along so well as friends, so let's have sex. You know, that's not how it works. There's a sexual vibe between you and the woman. She's feeling it, right? She's feeling warm down there, a bit of tingles down there, and she's thinking about you in a sexual way and she wants to get it on with you. You're creating that sort of vibe with her. It's completely different to just getting along with her. Number 3, trying to make himself look good by putting other guys down. So there are times when a guy can say something bad about another guy or about guys in general, and it's still okay because he's saying it in a way where he's not trying to suck up to the woman and make himself look like a knight in shining armor, Mr. Innocent. I'm not like all other guys. Can I get a chance now? Like, are you going to pick me? Sort of thing. As long as he's not coming across like that, and instead he just says, oh yeah, guys like that, they this and that. And he makes a passing comment where he's not trying to big note himself or hopefully gain points in her eyes. He's just having a conversation. Then that's okay. But When a guy is trying to put other men down that maybe she brings up or that come up in conversation to hopefully make himself look like a superhero, like a Mr. Nice Guy, a knight in shining armor, that's when the woman will feel turned off, right? She'll sense that the guy is trying in a very naive way to pull one over her. He's trying to trick her and be, under the radar, just slip it in that, hey, I'm a good guy. I'm not like all these other guys that are just sleazy and so forth. Like, I'm the guy that you should choose, right? If she picks up on that, it's a turn off because it shows that he's trying to suck up to her. It shows that he sees her as the selector, and that's not what she wants. Number 4, not picking up on or reciprocating her flirting. So each woman flirts with men in subtly different ways, but essentially, if the woman is showing you lots of positive signals, like she's laughing at your jokes, or she is reaching out to touch you, or she's behaving in a feminine, girly way and preening herself and so on, and she's showing a lot of those signals together, it adds up to, okay, she's trying to show you that she likes you. Because if she didn't like you, she wouldn't be preening her hair and laughing at all your jokes and trying to encourage you and show that she's interested. Instead, she'll be quite cold. She wouldn't be saying much during the conversation. She'll be looking away, and she will avoid preening herself because preening is the woman's instinctive reaction, her instinctive move to try to make herself look prettier, right? To make herself look more appealing. And if she doesn't want to look more appealing for you, she's just going to be sitting there and having a chat and saying, oh yeah, okay, right, yeah. And just being very flat, right? But if a woman is showing you signals like she's reaching out and touching you, she's laughing at your jokes, she's maintaining eye contact, she's giving you cheeky smiles and so forth, you've got to see that as her flirting with you. Because if a woman is trying hard to flirt and show interest and the guy continues to just act like a friend and doesn't flirt back or create a sexual vibe, she can then begin to feel as though they might not have enough of a lover vibe between them or a girlfriend-boyfriend type of dynamic to make it work. Additionally, if the woman senses that he isn't flirting back and showing some more obvious interest because he's worried about getting rejected, then she may begin to worry that he would likely be insecure in a relationship or in the bedroom, which then makes her question whether or not he is strong enough for a woman like her. And another way that men turn women off on dates is not being able to handle a simple test of his confidence or backbone. So women want a confident guy, right? You might have heard that. Pretty much everyone knows that, right? Women are attracted to confident guys. But what a lot of guys don't like and they can't handle is that women will sometimes test their confidence, right? They'll sometimes say things or do things to test their confidence. How dare women do that? Well, if you're a confident guy and you can handle the behavior of women, it doesn't throw you off, then it's not a problem. Instead, you just see it as the woman being girly. You see it as her being feminine, and you maintain your confidence, you maintain your masculinity, and she doesn't throw you off. So, for example, a guy's on a date with a woman and he says that he likes a particular sport, and she says something girly, something feminine, like, oh, isn't that like a boring kind of sport? Or, you like that? Isn't that sport kind of boring? Now, a guy who isn't confident and doesn't understand women will feel uncomfortable in that moment and might even feel a bit annoyed, right, with the woman that she's saying that, right? Like, what's she talking about? It's a boring sport. I like that sport, right? Or the guy who feels like he's stuffed up. She said that it's a boring sport and he's thinking, oh no, now she's going to lose interest in me because I'm into that and she's not into it and we don't have that in common. So maybe I'm losing her here. Well, I don't really like that sport that much. I mean, I used to be into it when I was a kid. All right, and then she starts saying, okay, this guy is just trying to suck up to me. He's trying to be selected. He can't even stand up for what he likes and so forth. And the thing is, the woman doesn't necessarily think that the sport is boring. She's just behaving instinctively, right? Women want to find a man who is confident and can handle himself in social situations when people put pressure on him or challenge him or ask him things. And she wants to see if he's got a backbone, if he's confident, can he handle himself? If she were to bring him to meet her family and friends, is he the sort of guy that's going to get picked on? Are they going to walk all over him? Or can he handle himself? Can he just laugh things like that off? For example, when she tests him by saying, isn't that like a boring sort of sport? Or how do you like that? Isn't that kind of boring? Or something like that. And he says, boring? It's the best sport in the world, girl. You got no idea. Or, yeah, it's actually probably the most boring sport in the world. And that's why I like it. You're not into boring things? Or boring, hey? Okay. So tell me what sport you like then. And she says a sport that she likes, and he says, and you're saying the sport I like is boring. I'd rather watch paint dry than watch that. Essentially, the guy is just playfully responding to her. He's not taking it personally and thinking that she's having a real dig at him. And he's not losing confidence in the moment and worrying that, he's losing her now because she doesn't like what he likes. Right? It's the same as if a woman says something about video games, right? So a woman might not necessarily have anything against video games, but if a guy says that he plays video games, she might say something like, oh, aren't video games mostly for kids and nerds? She's wanting to see how he is going to react in that moment. And it's not because she's trying to be mean, she's rude, she's disrespecting him, he should get angry right now. It's just feminine behavior, right? Women want to sense and see and experience your confident reaction so they then can feel safe. They then can feel, okay, this guy is a guy that will be able to handle himself in a social situation. He's not going to get picked on. This is a guy that I can look up to and respect because I can't walk all over him. He has a backbone. He doesn't get thrown off by a simple test of his confidence like that because he really is confident. So the thing is, there are guys out there who naturally get this sort of stuff. And when they interact with women, they naturally start to judge and consider and weigh up whether or not they should give the woman a chance. They naturally put themselves in that position and they naturally get easy results with women. But the majority of guys out there just don't do that because they think it's either wrong or they think that they don't deserve to be able to do that. Well, why does the woman deserve to be able to do it? What has she achieved? What's so amazing about her? Right? She just looks good and she's being friendly. And guys are like, oh, wow, worship. Okay, I've got to do whatever I can to get a chance with her. Why? You can flip the script, right? And it's actually what women want. They want to come across a guy who is a good guy, who is being respectful towards them, and is making them feel attracted by being confident and charming and so forth, but he is the selector. She gets to feel the exciting emotions of being selected, being able to get a chance with a guy that she really likes, rather than reluctantly giving the guy a chance or just rejecting him because she doesn't want that feeling, right? She doesn't want the feeling of being the selector. She wants the excitement of being selected by a guy who's making her feel attracted and making her feel like she needs to impress him. You're allowed to put yourself in that position and it feels better for you and the woman.